Welcome to the last and final section of Create to Do app with React. In this section, we will go through overall summary of the course and the things that we have learned during this course. And finally, in the end, I will tell you about how you can improve your app and grow your knowledge of the React and what are the next things that you can learn. So we started by building the layout for our application. In the exercise files, you can find the layout PNG image. So in the layout, the app section 2, you will find it inside the second part of the section 2. This is the layout that we created for our application. So we decided that we will have the layout in such a way that we will have the outer component, which will be our application. Then we will have a header component inside the app, and we'll also have a footer, and this will be the content of our app. And inside the content, we will have a to-do list, a to-do app. We will have a to-do list, and inside to-do list, we will have multiple tasks. After that, we created our app. We use create React app package to get the boiler code for React. We then decided about the state of our app, and then we move on to the next section where we learned about how to build our app components. We started by building our header component, our footer component, and our app component. After that, we created our to-do app, and inside the to-do app, we learned about how we can create the update components for our app. So we added on change events on whenever the to-do app item is clicked. So whenever we click to-do item, its color is changed. Uh, if we go to the browser, here our app is running. I've started the JSON server on localhost 3000. So if I send a request to localhost slash 3000 slash to-dos, I'm getting the to-do items. And on port 3001, my app is running. So we added this functionality whenever we click an item, its state is changed, status is changed. As a result, its color is changed, and here we have the counts updated. We also added the component to add new to-do items. So if I type anything here and click submit, that to-do item will be added. After that, we built the navigation for our app. We added the logo. So we created and downloaded the image from the internet, and remove the background of the image and placed it inside the image tag to add the logo image for header. We also added the sidebar to our application, and we also learned to how to make it this sidebar responsive. We used Chrome Dev Tools. If I open it in a separate window, I can just go and click this thing, toggle device toolbar, and this is how my device appears. So we can see how it is going to look on different devices. We learn about Chrome DevTools. After that, we learned about, I'm just going to close these DevTools so it will return back to the normal. We added the toggle button for our sidebar. So whenever we click this toggle button, our sidebar gets displayed if it's hidden, and it gets hidden if it is just already displayed. We built this icon for our component using the devs. These are the three devs with the background color set to black and height and width property set. And finally, we added the support to connect it to the backend API. So now these are the items that we are getting from the backend API. If I click reload, these items are being persisted. So here we are using JSON Server for our backend web API. JSON Server provides you with the tools. By using JSON Server, you can quickly create the backend web API, so you don't have to create a whole project and write the piece of code. You can just create a JSON file and run the JSON Server on that file. It will start serving the data from that file, and if we send the post request, the data gets added to that file. So if I add test JSON here and hit submit, the item is added here, and we'll see that that is also added into the JSON server. If I click reload, that item should appear here. So it is appearing here, test JSON. And finally, towards the end, we worked on improving our app. To improve our app, we changed the folder structure. So if we go and have a look at the folder structure, now we have the nested folders containing the nested component. So it is easy for us to locate any component and make changes in that component. We also added prop type validation using TypeScript. So we used to create we created an interface inside this to do inside the summary component, and here we are creating the summary props. So through these we are adding prop type validation. To use the TypeScript, it is necessary that you add TypeScript, install the TypeScript package. So that should be here in your package.json file. So if you are getting an error related to TypeScript, you will have to install the TypeScript package. And finally, we worked on removing the warnings. We removed the unused warnings. There was a warning related to image tag. We fixed that. So this is just the start. You have now sufficient knowledge to start building React application. For next step, I would recommend you building a complex application using state management library like Redux. You should also start using TypeScript with your React application so there are less errors and it is easy for you to find the bugs in your code. So best of luck for your future learnings. Thank you for watching.